All right, Kyle. So are we in for a long, hot, slow summer when it comes to the Colorado Avalanche? Let's talk about it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
Your Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Thank you for tuning in and making it your first listen of the day. That's always appreciated. And if you want to get in on the conversation, then join our subtext. Links in the show notes below. Chat with Kyle and I one-on-one. We get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. For today, we will be doing the Original Six 100 anniversary logos. We have 3 more that are coming out this year. So now all 6 of them will be have had their 100th season logo released. So we'll rank them. And I don't know that yours.
No, you don't.
I'm really interested to see, because one of these final teams, a team that historically we don't like, I think came out with a really good one. And I'm wondering if you want to give them the credit or not give them the credit because of who it is. And it probably doesn't take rocket science to figure out who it is. But when you see the logo, how impressed are you? So we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm really looking forward to that and your answer on that. Well, he's already chuckling. So
I will. Yeah, stick around.
So where we're going to start today, Kyle, is before the weekend. I'm not going to go in on the Nikolai Ehlers contract. He goes to Carolina, 6 years, 8.5. Yeah, Kyle's not happy about that. 8.5 AAV on that. So it's not so much about that. I don't want to talk about the contract. If it's a good contract, whatever. My question and maybe my concern is, you heard the Avalanche were in on him. And we know what the Avalanche had in cap space, which was not 8.5. So yeah, I mean, if they could have went the Vegas route right now, and Vegas is like over the cap, but you can go over the cap right now and make maneuvers to eventually get yourself under the cap by a particular date. The teams really don't like to go way over the cap. Some will do it. I don't think the Avalanche are particularly fond of doing that. But if that was the asking rate or the going rate for Ehlers, like why did the Avalanche really buy into it for as long as they did? Why did they hear, or I mean, I know they probably were trying to get him lower, right? They were trying to sell him on, come here, we have a really good team, we can make a good run, and you might have to take a little bit of a discount to come here. And then fast forward, if they did sign him, the Avalanche would have to make other moves to free up money. It would have been just this convoluted thing, which you wonder how much the Avalanche were really invested in it. And it sounded like they were. But what happened is he went to another team that is a really good team, can make a really deep run, and had the money to pay him. So Carolina had all the boxes checked for him to go there. The Avalanche really didn't, but if the Avalanche wanted to make it work, they could have found a way to do it. Probably not the best way, but they could have, if they really wanted him to bring him in. But that's my question is, if that was the rate or around it and the Avalanche didn't have it, why didn't they back out earlier and just say, too rich for our blood, and we can start throwing our money around to guys that are currently available that now are not?
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about when we initially brought up Ehlers in the first place. Like, yeah, he's the big name out there, but I was very skeptical on how much the Avalanche were in there. I know the rumor was going around that the Avalanche are interested. I wonder if it was just a phone call of, what free agents are you looking at? Well, Ehlers is out there. And like that verbal, I don't really know if they really went deep into this, because as the Avalanche currently sit, they have 4.123333 left in space. So they have it nice and tidy. But even at that, you can't go out there. What are you going to do? Like, play in the $8 million range? It just doesn't make sense. And like, the more it's gone on, like in this process, it just did not feel like an Avalanche fit. And I feel like the Avs were just kind of lumped in there because they didn't say no. But I don't, and especially like when you brought up the point of who else is out there, again, it circles back to I don't think they're really that interested in what's out there. I really don't think they were deep into this Ehlers contract, and it makes me go back to wonder how into Jonathan Toews they were. Like, I just don't feel like this team really wants to go out there. Like, even like Brent Burns was the big signing, and he was $1 million. Like, right. I really don't feel like the Avs want to spend money right now.
But they're gonna have to at some, like, you got to fill out a roster here. So you got to sign guys at some point, and maybe that's it. Like, we were saying all along, their top sixers are kind of set. So what they need to fill out are the depth guys. And when you trade Coyle, when you traded Wood, that left, even though it was just shy of $9 million, you felt like, well, what you need, that's more than enough to fill in, these spots of what you need. And when, the first couple of days go by and you really did next to nothing, you signed your own guys, which is great. But all of these kind of depth guys and kind of contracts where you look at and you're like, that one, I feel like that could have made some sense. That one could have made some sense. And then you hear the Ehlers thing, and it's like, wow, if they're in on that, and then there's a whole other world that's going to have to happen post, signing him if that happens. And then it's just he goes and signs for a number that was never in your ballpark, and it just made me think, like, where are we going here? Like, you got to get guys. So fine, if you're not in on the big names, that's fine. I wasn't expecting you to be in on the big names, but are you not in? Like you're saying, are you not in on any names right now? Which names are you in on? Like the Brent Burnses of the world. Like he there's only one guy out there that's going into his 22nd year. Like, though you can't go after a handful of those guys. He's the only one. Who are we going after here just to fill out this roster? And I know it's still early in the offseason, and the Avs typically are a little bit slower to make some, like, they've done really well of making like late summer moves. Evan Rodriguez one's come to mind real quick. Like, he was very late in the offseason. So you can do this. And maybe this is just my like paranoia kicking in here because of all these other teams just making all of these other moves, the West getting really good, the Central itself getting a lot better, and the Avalanche are just still kind of poking around and biding their time. And I'm sure they have a plan. I just want to know what it is, and the Avalanche don't care that I want to know what it is, but I'm just please tell me.
But see, that's the thing, Chris. They've told you from the very start, as soon as they were bumped out. Like, they have 21 of 23 rostered on the team. Like, they have to just go get 2 more. You got 23. Like, the Avalanche, where the signs were, where you're seeing all these other teams get better and all these other guys floating, there were much more lucrative guys like Ehlers. I get it. He's a big name that everybody knows because he shows up in highlights. There were other names in free agency that I felt were more of a pick and a fit for the Avalanche, who went for a lot less to a lot lesser teams. The Avalanche could have easily went out there and still, with the cap that they have right now, after all these signings that they made, could still afford those players. When I saw the Avalanche not going for those free agents, I knew just stick with it. Makes me sick to even say. But the whole believe in Chris McFarland thing, like, that's what they were telling us. Like, we believe in this team and we're going to run it back. That's all they're doing. Like the Charlie Coyle thing, prepped everybody. Everybody started, it was like Y2K. Like, everybody was like, oh, they're making a big move. They're making a big move. They're not. They're just putting a team together. They were freeing up money to have, like, put a team together, not be so cash strapped. And like, it's not like they're making big moves. Parker Kelly was their biggest signing. Everything else has been basically 1 million or league min. Like, the Avs are content, and they've told you this from the beginning. I think we're all focusing. Oh, I think you might have froze. But
all right, go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I just think we need to just get over the Charlie Coyle, Miles Wood move, because they were just doing business as they told us they always would, and the Avalanche don't want to be like everybody else.
So like the thing with free agency is like and making signings and making trade whatever movie you make, you want to make your team better,
Mhm.
right? So when you look at, I'm just over on Puckpedia right now, and when you look at kind of like the lower value contracts that they have right now, let's go from Logan O'Connor on down. So he's at obviously 2.5. Then you have Jack Drury at 1.75. And then, I think they've inserted some names here on their own will here. So you have Ivan at 845. Parker Kelly, he's still at 825 for this year. That 1.7 kicks in next year. They put Prishapov in there. He's at 806,000. And they put Ty Fellhaber in there at 775. Those names don't get you juiced up, right? And that's all I'm saying is you have some money to go out and get some players that could get you kind of fired up to have a strong bottom six, fourth line, whatever the case may be. And right now you go out with that team, I don't know, man. I don't yes, you're just hoping someone like Ivan can. I mean, he had a really good season last year for what he played. You like Parker Kelly, obviously. You like Jack Drury, but what else, man? That's where I'm just saying, I feel like they left a lot of meat on the bone here. So is something in the cards? Maybe. And I don't want to get too finite and finalized and just say nope, this is the team. We're in the beginning of July. I'm sure there are moves to come, and I just need to be a little bit more patient. But I just don't like what they did. I feel like there could have been at least a player or so outside of Brent Burns. Brent Burns got $1 million. I just feel like there could have been a player or two just to take this edge off and say yeah, we're sliding them into our bottom six. Still got moves to come, but the Avs really just didn't go for anybody in the early stages of free agency. And what you have there, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me address that on the other side of this break. Let me shift things just a little bit.
We're also going to mention a couple former Avs that are kind of in the news as well. So we'll talk about that. And of course, the original six centennial logos, which we will rank. We'll do all that next. Let's hear from FanDuel, and summer sports are in full swing. Whether you are all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high stakes soccer action, which Kyle is telling me the U.S. team lost some soccer match, which I don't really pay attention to.
It's the Gold Cup. They lost to Mexico.
All right. If it's not the World, is it the World Cup? That's the big one.
Yeah, the World Cup is the big one.
That's the big one. That's the only one I really kind of will watch. Outside of that, not a soccer fan, but apparently people are upset about this yet again when it comes to USA soccer. Shocker. If you're already following the action, why not make it a little more thrilling with FanDuel? And you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. So if you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Actually, I think I would make my first bet against Team USA Soccer, because we always seem to be in this predicament where people are like, can't believe they lost again. So that might be a good bet for next time. Is a Gold Cup every year? Do they play it every year or what?
I think it's every 2.
Every 2 years? Okay. So in 2 years, I'm going to put $5 down against them. So open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com right now to get started. All right. You had a thought you were going to bring up here. So
yeah, and it kind of it leads into kind of what you were wanting to talk about here. But I think you need to shift your focus on this Avalanche team. They are very content with this. They are viewing this roster top to bottom last year as a fluke. The outcome was a fluke. They can do better. Their analytics are telling them they can do better. And all the pieces are not making the team better because they already believe this team is better. This is the deep team that they wanted. On paper, all of our analytics say this is a winning formula. We believe in this formula. Goalies fixed. We brought in Brent Burns. That's some grit, longevity. Like your forwards, that's fine. And even getting out like Beret Boulet that they signed, the AHLer. Like Tampa Bay had a lot of high hopes in him. When he went and was playing for the Syracuse Crunch, he had like 84 points in 69 games. Like Tampa Bay was touting him like the Alex Kerfoot. Like, wait till he gets here. And then he kind of cooled off a little bit, went to Montreal, and now the Avalanche have him. So now they are like, well, we have a veteran, we have our future. Like they're making these, the Avs have made little moves where it's like they're padding their future too. So there's not like this screaming, like, we got to get him to make this team better, because they already feel like this team is right where they want. And they're going to have that money going towards the trade deadline, because of course we talk about the two players that we mention all the time that play defense for the Avalanche that you would like to move out because of their contracts. The Avs are thinking about this. Like, the rumor is out there for like Calgary is listening to trade offers for Nas. Would he make the team better? Of course. That's an expensive deal. Would anybody like Sammy G or Josh Manson? You don't know. But if you have a little bit of extra money, you could be a player. If Calgary starts the season and doesn't go well, you can make that move. Like they're still wanting to attack that trade deadline and have some money to be a big player at the deadline instead of being cash strapped and just making tiny moves.
I appreciate the fact that the Avs are not like right up against the cap right now. Like that's fine. I'm happy with that. But yeah, you do have what was it? 4.123
3. Yep.
So you know, are there guys out there that, you know, you could, to me, like I thought like bringing back Kovalenko was kind of a no-brainer. That won't cost you something like that would have like just, you know, kept the appetite going, like, you know, fine until like something came along, like a trade that we're anticipating something happening in the off season. But you know, they've signed, you know, again, going back to the Brent Burns one, and then you know about this guy that they signed. I don't want to mispronounce his name. Is it
Beret Boulet?
Beret Boulet. I don't know anything about him, but you know, looking at his numbers, seems good. Well, you know, when he played with Syracuse, like he seems to put up numbers, but seems to be more of a AHL guy, and maybe
has not shown up in the NHL.
No, so
he's seen time with Tampa and did not rise to the occasion.
Right. So again, like that's just a move where you see it and you're like, okay, signing guys for the AHL is important. I understand that part of it, but does it get you excited for if he makes a debut for the Avalanche? We don't know what he brings. So I just go back to, maybe it's just I'm being insatiable right now. And I just feel like I wanted maybe more a move or two just to make me feel better about it. And will those come? Sure. I feel like the Avalanche will make some sort of move, because when you just look at those guys on the bottom six right now, it's not as strong as last year. It's just not. So what do we have? I don't know. We'll have to just be patient.
And see, I think that's the problem. I think this is the first year that you really don't have a screaming need. And the Avs are just looking at free agency for wants. Like usually every offseason, we need a 2C. We got to do something about goalie. We maybe need another defender. Like the Avs they don't feel like there's a huge need. Like it's depth, and they don't want to go out there and signing like, but when have we ever said like, yeah, it would be nice if the Avs got deeper, but we also needed this and we also needed this. And then what are we going to do about Landeskog? And what are we going to do about Val Nichushkin? Is he going to be a member of this team? Like there's usually like 18 different things the Avs are juggling every offseason. This one, they've already said we like the roster. They like top to bottom. And they said, oh, sure, we'll just add some depth. But I don't feel like this Avs front office is hungry to make a move.
Let me ask it this way. Like, what have you done to replace Charlie Coyle's role? And what have you done, oddly enough, to replace Miles Wood's role? and like nothing.
Exactly.
So those two guys, nothing.
I'm not
but you're
speaking.
saying it because like you feel like they're happy with what they have.
This is not a me thing, because this goes farther back. What have you done to replace Mikko Rantanen? Like, this doesn't even go to the Charlie Coyle thing. Like, what have you even, like, you can't say
It's
Natchez is
impossible to. I mean, I think that's as close as you're going to get. You can't replace Mikko Rantanen.
But then if that's
too impossible,
you evaluate that trade, you didn't win. And like looking at next year, that's going to be interesting to see how they play next year.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you didn't do that. And then you moved out Coyle and you moved out Wood and you brought in a bunch of league men and Brent Burns and Parker Kelly at 1.7. Why? Doesn't make sense. And you had some cap money at the time before you made all this move. Like, did you do this to sign all these guys at league men? Because I'm not the biggest CMAC guy, like, I see it as a concern. But you're asking the question, like, why are the Avs not doing anything? It's because they told you we're not going to do anything.
Oof, I don't know. Again, I feel like something will happen, and in the end, I'll be okay. But I just feel like there were some players that came off the board where I was just like, that could have been good. That could have been good. And you mentioned one in Nazem Kadri. There's another one out there. Not necessarily that he's not going to be coming back to the Avalanche now, but because he's a former Av and it's interesting what's going on with Bo Byram. Let's get our last break in, and then we will rank our Original Six Centennial logos. We'll do that next. So just the soap opera continues in Buffalo when it just comes to everything hockey. And now they're going to arbitration with Bo Byram. So the interesting thing there is, so because they're going to arbitration, which is basically just going in front of a judge and the judge saying, like, this is what this player is worth. To this day, I just think that is just a radical way to do things. But because they're doing that, Bo Byram can pick the term of his contract. So he can just say, like, I want to sign, I think he's 25. So he can just say, like, I want to sign a 2-year deal and then I'm out of here. And then I can be an unrestricted free agent and go anywhere I want to go. Word is he's looking for like $9 million. And you know who makes $9 million, Kyle?
Not me.
Cale Makar.
Oh.
Cale Makar makes $9 million. So he is wanting Cale Makar money right now. It'll be interesting. I don't really pay attention too much to like arbitration, but this one I might. I'm really interested to see what comes out of this, how long he signs there for, because this is just a wild story again with the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, I was reading. I read it this morning when I was getting up and I was, taking my medication, getting ready for the day, and I read this story and I literally spit it out. I was 8 to 9 million. Bo Byram, buddy, love you, great talent, great personality.
Yeah,
8 to 9 million. You need to fire your agent, because you're going to be in a Mikko Rantanen situation before long if you keep listening to words like that. 8 to 9 million? No, absolutely not. 4 to 5? Sure. 8 to 9 million? No.
I don't think so we'll see where this goes, but it just seems that Buffalo just doesn't seem to be able to do anything right. Doesn't seem like they can get anybody to want to stay there. I don't know, man.
It's not like Buffalo's paying anybody else, so why not?
No, I mean, they have that money, don't they? How much does Buffalo have in cap? Let me see here real quick because I am interested. They have 13.6 and 25 roster players signed. So, yeah, they could afford it, but that's usually not throwing money out, making it rain just because you can. I don't know. Wild story in Buffalo. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there. And
when I grow up, I want to be as optimistic as Bo Byram.
Yeah. I mean, could he get there someday? Yeah. I mean, he just needs to be in the right situation, but I loved the guy. I thought, again, like what you said, like awesome personality, funny guy, great player. Just has to find the right situation. And maybe the next contract, if he can live up to what he's billed as, you'll get in that range, especially with the cap continuing to go up. Salaries are going to go up. But right now, it's a big ask. And I think going to arbitration, I don't think it's going to go that way for him.
Especially because 2 years ago, you're about to walk away from the game. And then and then turn it around and say, oh, no, now that I'm here, $9 million, please.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that. So the last thing we are going to do is, I thought it was interesting. You get three final teams coming out with their 100th year logos. We'll put them up over on YouTube if you're watching. There they are. The bottom three there are the three that are coming out this year. The ones on top. I've seen a second one for Montreal. I don't know if there was two of them out or what it came to be. I don't know what it was, but the other one was really cool.
I like this one more.
I like them both, but I think I'm with you on this one. So those top ones, the Montreal, the Maple Leafs, and the Bruins. The Bruins were the most recent one in 2024. Had their 100th season. So you have the Rangers, the Red Wings, and the Blackhawks this year. So now all six are going to have a 100th logo. So I figured we'd talk about who we like the least, who we like the best. So list them off, sir. If you want to start at the bottom, go for it.
Yeah, and for the benefit of those listening, the Montreal logo we're talking about, one looks like an Olympics logo.
Yes.
The one that we're going to be talking about looks more like the jersey font.
Right. Yeah.
So
the Olympics one is kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that,
lot.
but this one is traditional.
Yeah.
I think we could both start at the bottom and both agree at our bottom.
Yeah.
It's Toronto.
I don't get Toronto's, man. Like, you could have done so much better. It's just the maple leaf, which looks like it's like been dipped in like silver, like steel almost.
Yeah.
With just a 100 on it. And that's it. I get minimalism, but that's just like boring minimalism to me. That one just doesn't excite you at all.
That looks like something that would be on the bottom of one of my Magic the Gathering.
I'll take your word for that because I don't play it. But sure. All right. So that's I think that's an easy 6 for both of us. So you got at number 5.
Number 5, I have Chicago.
Why is that?
It's okay. Like, honestly, because you're getting really tight going closer to the top, and I don't really dig it. 5,
I have the Rangers.
That's bonkers.
I don't know. Like, it's okay. I just feel it's like too cluttered. Like the 100, like I get the, the 100 are like the numbers on the jerseys with the white shadow coming off it. I don't know. It doesn't scream like professionalism to me. It almost seems like a 5th grader put it together.
Interesting.
Yeah. And not taken away from 5th graders. Maybe that's an insult to 5th graders, but I don't know. Doesn't excite me.
Oh,
and I'm the Rangers guy.
Yeah, you're not gonna like what I have on my list, but
oh boy,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Why? Who's your 5? You said 5 was Chicago, right?
5 is Chicago.
Okay, so who's 4?
4 would be the Bruins.
I am kind of with you on that one there. Yes.
It's awesome. It's a great logo, but it's just a little too much where I have to like read a little bit more to remember who you are. Like everybody else you can look at and it's like you got your logo there. Like if that bear maybe was the Boston B, then it might be a little bit higher up, but it's at 4.
I'll say like this, like from 4 to 1, I like them all like the most.
Yeah.
And I think those are all closer. Like Rangers and Maple Leafs are kind of like really at the very bottom for me, and 4 through 1, I all like a lot. So putting like the Bruins at 4, like they could be, I wouldn't put them at number 1 ever, but maybe like they could have gone up to at least number 2 for me. And I think the only thing with like I love this logo. It's the Bruins in like a half circle. Then you have that bear with the 100 on it. I feel like it would have done better if I don't think their uniforms that year were really like the throwback. So like it would have done well with, and I know they haven't really changed their uniform all that much, but it's like the new style jersey with an old school patch on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it didn't like really match up that well. But I do love it. Like that's the most unique one out of all of these.
Yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
by far. So I like what they did with it. So what do you got at 3?
Montreal. I think it's
okay.
I think it's clean. I think it's awesome. The same font that you use on your jersey numbers. I like that it has seasons in the ribbon, both in French and English. I think it's perfect. I think it's great. I think it's a really good logo.
That's at 3. I have the Blackhawks because of it's like 3 and 2 for me. I'll just go right to my number 2, which is Montreal. Like they kind of are the same. It's just the Blackhawk ribbon is in the middle, and the Montreal one is just at the bottom. And
it's
I think
literally the same ribbon.
But putting it at the bottom just adds a different dynamic to it for some reason, and just looks a lot cleaner in the Montreal one. So I like how they both did it, kind of the same logo, just different fonts, different position of the ribbon. That's why I have them just right next to each other. So I put the Blackhawks at 3 and Montreal at 2. So who you got at number 2?
The eternal number 2. The Detroit Red Wings.
Wow. I know who your number 1 is, but that is wild. But talk about number 2. Yeah.
No, and I'll get to why it's number 1 in a minute. But no, it's a great logo, good look. Really expands the logo out. You know, like when you see those like fan pages that expand like the Minnesota Wild logo to what the full bear looks like. Same kind of instance with this Red Wing logo. Like they take the 100 and they really make the logo feel like there's more than we are accustomed to. So I think this was a really cool Detroit Red Wing logo at 2.
Yeah, and like I said, my number 2 is Montreal. So number 1 for me is that Detroit logo. I saw that one, and that one just jumps out to you more than any of the other ones, in my opinion. So using that logo, it's perfect. It's like the 0 for the 100. It was like built into it. You know what I mean? It's built into for this type of thing. So I know it's sacrilegious to give Detroit credit and top billing for anything, being a Avalanche fan. I have long since moved on from that, and I still appreciate the rivalry for what it was, but you have to give credit where credit is due. That is a nice looking logo, and that one to me is knocked out of the park. So.
And see, that's what I feel about the Rangers logo at number 1. And like everybody knows, the OGs, the everydayers, my East Coast team is the Devils. So like this is the worst possible thing I could say to like, but they took the assignment and they understood the assignment. Like it is a clean, like the font, same as your jersey, big points for me. It's incorporates the shield that goes all the way back. Like a lot of their original shield designs, it incorporates that. It's got that iconic coloring, and it's not too jumbled. It just looks good. It's one of those that I could see this on multiple things of merchandise, and it feels important. It feels regal. And it feels like distinguished. Like all these other ones, it feels like one of those things you would see on a banner. But this one, like you see this, it feels like an accomplishment. And I really just love this logo design.
You know what I think it is as I'm looking at these right now? I think it's just too it's too busy at the bottom. Like you have the Rangers logo, great. And then you have like those 3 lines, like the 2 white lines and the red line in the middle.
Yeah.
I think if you got rid of the white, you don't need the white lines. There's nothing written in the white lines. If you get rid of those and you just have a red line going across, as simple as that is, I think it gives it a completely different look, and I might like it a little bit more. I just think it's too busy for me, and I'm not a fan of that, which is wild. Because normally anything Rangers, I'd be like, hey, that's...
And they have a busy jersey. They got that, like, Girl Scout sash looking thing on their jersey.
Why not do that? Why not like have the 100 going like diagonal or something like that?
That would have made sense.
That would have been nice. So,
but no, like I think that is probably a design. Like if I had it on a hat, I'd be wearing it like year 105, 110, 120. All these other ones, as soon as it's done, I'm throwing it to the side.
If you like, you can put that. The numbers, the Ranger numbers at 100, just that on a hat, fine.
Yeah,
I think that would look good. So, and it makes you think, what is the Avalanche 100th gonna look like? I want to know what their 30th is gonna look like. So,
I'll ask my kids.
Yeah, that's great. So there you go. If what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Which one do you like the most? Do you like the Maple Leafs one for whatever reason? Why? Throw it out there. I'd love to know.
You probably like rice cakes if you do.
Unsalted rice cake.
Unsalted rice cakes every day.
So, all right, that is going to wrap it up for today, everybody. So thank you for tuning in and making this your first listen of the day. We'll be back tomorrow with anything going on in Avalanche Nation, even though it's the off season. If anything's happening, we're going to be talking about it tomorrow. But yeah, thank you for making it your first listen. Always appreciated. He's Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. You made it through another day, everybody. 24 hours closer to Sidney Crosby being with the Colorado Avalanche.
Nope.